It is Wednesday, July 21st, 2021, 7:09 p.m. This special meeting of the Board of Commissioners workshop is called to order. City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Mayor Hendricks?
Yes.
Vice
Here.
Mayor Price? Here. Commissioner Hodges? Here. Commissioner Andrews?
Here.
Commissioner Hudson?
Here.
First is public comment. I understand we have an email.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. This is from Debbie A. Hutt, Hutte, of 16337 Reddington Drive, Reddington Beach. The people that own the Cambria want to open another resort. The Cambria has had more complaints than I've heard in a while. Rooms are not ready. Some weren't even cleaned, yet the food isn't great. The only good thing I've heard is the view. The pool is small. Anyway, I love in Reddington, but obviously our towns are connected, and I drive out 150th too. If these people build another resort and can't manage it, then all they seem to want is money. I've heard nothing good about the Cambria. If you live here, I'm sure you have heard stuff too. I don't trust them to make a great resort. That's all I can say, and feeling Madeira already has their mind made up, but I wanted to say this. I want top-notch resorts, not half posterior regions. I changed it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next is approval of the proposed millage rate for a year, fiscal year 2021-2022, ad valorem tax levy. Mr. Laughlin and Mr. Daniels, would y'all like to take the floor on this?
Sure. So this is the multi-step trim, first step one of the action we need to take in a multi-step trim process. So this is the part where on July 1st, by July 1st, the property appraiser provides us our current taxable values for the upcoming fiscal year. Then within 35 days, we need to complete Section 2 of this Form DR 420 and submit it electronically back to the property appraiser through this through the online trim process. So we're going to inform the property appraiser of the prior year millage rate, the current year proposed millage rate, current year rollback rate, and the date, time, and meeting place of the tentative hearing. So what I wanted to get is coalesce your support for the proposed millage rate and the date, time, and meeting place of the tentative hearing. So what my and staff recommendation is, based on the budget workshop that we just had, noting that the general fund is coming out currently in the positive, that I don't feel it's necessary to increase millage rate, but I also don't feel that we need to decrease the millage rate either. So ultimately the recommendation is to keep the millage rate the same as it was for the fiscal year 2021, which is 2.75 mils. There was a typo in the initial agenda memo showing 2.875 mils. That was what was proposed, or the tentative millage rate last year, but that got changed to 2.75. So I'd like to keep it at 2.75. That'll provide tax revenue of $4,052,800. That increase of $346,800 is based on that increase in taxable value. And because of that, that's why we are showing a positive in the general fund budget for FY22 currently. As far as the public hearing date time, I went with September 8, 2021. That's a Wednesday. When we meet anyways on Wednesdays, it has to be before 6 p.m., so I stated 5:45 p.m. The conflicts is we just cannot do it on September 14. That's the school board meeting, or September 9 or September 21st. Those are county commission initial and final hearing dates.
So you're proposing September 8th for the next
for the initial public hearing. So at that initial public hearing, we'll put forth the that proposed millage rate, and then we vote on that. Need majority, so 3 out of 5 votes, and once you then you can set a different tentative millage rate, but this proposed rate is what's going to go on those initial trim notices to all the property owners within City of Madeira Beach. So that rate could change from what we're proposing now to the tentative, based on whatever you decide. But once you decide what the rate is at on that September 8 meeting, you cannot increase it. You can only decrease it to go from the initial public hearing to the final adopted budget and adopted millage rate at the final hearing, which we'll do within 2 weeks or so after that September 8 meeting. So in our calendar, we've got this initial budget workshop we did approving this proposed millage rate. August, we'll provide a complete budget, go through another workshop, get your comfort level. Do we need to do another workshop in August? We can just decide upon that. But then at a minimum, we would meet again on September 8th so you all can approve the tentative millage rate and tentative budget for adoption. And then we'll do it again, second hearing a couple weeks later in September.
So before our regular meeting then, on September 8th?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm fine with going on staff recommendation on holding it at 2.75. So I would think 15 minutes is probably plenty of time to do that, unless someone thinks we need to back it up a little earlier.
We're discussing this now, right? Because it's the amount now. It can go down, but it can never go up, right? This is where last year I gave my big speech about small increments are better than what our predecessors had to do with a 50% increase, and I stand by that.
Yeah.
Especially since we want to build a parking garage. I mean, we can't keep having these grand capital plans without budgeting for it and getting something going to use to start it. So I'd rather see 2.875, but that's me. My 2 cents. I just don't want to see us have to go up a lot in 4 years when it could go up a little bit now, a little bit in another 2 years, and get things done.
Well, I hope in 4 years we're generating more revenue, so we're not having to do things like that. But I'm good with staff recommendation. So if we want to have some discussion on this now, I guess we can.
Oh, I thought this was what it was for. Yeah, it's now or never.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily.
Plan to increase.
There is still an opportunity to increase from what we initially proposed to the tentative. So from now through August, we can have another workshop and say, you know what, I think we want to have a different millage rate for the, but you just can't increase it from the tentative millage rate that you all approve.
Right.
So
now.
No, the tentative is what's on
September?
September.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So there is more flexibility from now until September 8th. There is no flexibility on increasing from September 8th into September 20, whatever, when we present the final adoption. So if we go through another iteration of the budget and there is a desire to increase, you could.
Okay, well, tentatively, I'm fine with 2.75. You know, we're going to have to get more into the budget on some of these other projects that we're going to have going on, storm sewer project and things like that, to see where we stand, because we had that $15 million put in a savings account. That still bugs me, but that project, I would think we're going to get in the pipeline this next year for Marguerite.
Yep.
So I think we need to see a little bit more to say, are we going to raise it some or aren't we? Know how much that project's going to be in today's dollars.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think I don't ever subscribe to a theory of raising it until we actually need it. And I think that unless there's a project out there that we're trying to fund or we're trying to do it, I don't think that it's an easy sell to the public that we're trying to raise extra money and dump it right into the general fund. Now, if we were to raise it and we had a separate account where we were generating money to build something or to do something, I'm all for something like that down the road. I just don't, I think we sailed by last year without it, and I don't think we had any issues by keeping it the same. I'd like to do the same thing this year. We may need to raise it next year if we have any big capital projects ahead of us, but I think we jump off that bridge when we get to it. I think just raising it to raise it and throw money into the general fund without a purpose really kind of, we do. I'm not going to say we haven't been fiscally responsible over the past 5 years, but I think the public would kind of look at us sideways if we just threw it into the general fund and then it all of a sudden disappeared. So.
Well, I'm not proposing that.
Well,
we got a huge stormwater thing coming up, and we want to build a parking garage. I was planning. I'm planning ahead. I'm saving for the future. That was my thought.
I agree. And happy, that's kind of the exact reason why I've why I've had comments about past commissions that at one point lowered the millage rate. Because they had saved money, and then there was a lowering of the millage rate. Lowering a millage rate is terrific if all your projects are done and you save money. Yeah. The purpose of what we bring in, we're supposed to be spending, right? We're supposed to be spending the money that comes in. Generally, we're supposed to have a balanced budget. So overages are great, but they're not supposed to be. We're not really planning for overages, right, Andrew? That's pretty much the how we're supposed to be doing this. We're supposed to be balancing a budget. Now, if we want to put the parking garage on this budget, terrific. I'm all for it. Let's start, funneling some money towards that project specifically. Or if we've got, we wanted to, Marguerite, we want to make that our kind of our new project where we're undergrounding utilities. That's our new goal. That's what we're going to do. And we wanted to funnel money for that project, all for it. Putting money in a savings account in the general fund doesn't make sense to me. That's just, like I said, just my thoughts.
If I may, just in reference to the parking garage, we do have that project split over the next fiscal year and the being completed the following fiscal year. So 22 is where we're hoping to have the engineering and have the plans done, and with construction in 23. And finishing it towards the end of the fiscal year. But, we can change that. It's, all set by the commission. I was just trying to work out the workload of what we have so Public Works isn't constantly on a panic mode.
The break-even date isn't 2045, is it, on the parking garage?
2055. No, just teasing.
A cheap shot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I actually had a discussion with our city manager regarding payment to Cardinal, because I don't think Cardinal did their due diligence on that, on what they came back with on $30 million for a dry stack storage facility. If those figures were right, there wouldn't be any build.
Right. Is this on the agenda? I'm sorry, the workshop agenda? Are we going to be talking about that? If not, can we put it on there? Okay. Yeah. I'd like to discuss our high-end dry proposal.
Okay.
And can I include on that those other options that we talked about, and just so we can discuss it, so I have some direction on how you all want to move forward?
Well, I would say tentatively, I'm all for going forward with 2.75. We've got time to change it, but I think we need to go ahead and get off ground zero, get us started.
Well, I'm
Andrew,
not
do you need
making
a
that
vote?
motion, so
Yes,
somebody else could
make a
feel
motion.
free. Well, yeah, this is a special meeting, right?
Is there a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion then, for, the approval for the proposed millage rate for the fiscal year 2022, the 2.75.
I'll second that.
And the public hearing, sorry, the date of the public hearing, which is September 8 at 5:45 PM.
Okay, do you want me to mention that also?
Sure, please, yeah.
Okay. Under the second hearing of September 8th at 5:45.
I'll second that.
City Clerk, will you call the roll?
Commissioner Hodges?
Yes.
Commissioner Andrews?
Yes.
Commissioner Hudson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Price?
No.
Mayor Hendricks?
Yes.
The motion carried 4-1.
City Manager, do you have anything else before I close the meeting? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Having no more business, this meeting is adjourned at 7:25 PM.